Here comes trouble, putting on a show. Like a domino, I fall. Another bottle, don't know what to say. Send me on my way to you. I know you're all that I want, but I don't even know your name. So don't go and leave me lonely, I'll show you another way. And you say it's a one-night thing, but I want something more than that. So don't go and leave me lonely, I'll show you another way. So don't go and leave me lonely, I'll show you another way. Eyes wide open, holding out for you. Tell me that it's true. Oh, did you notice? I saw you over there, looking like a heartbreaker. I know you're all that I want, but I don't even know your name. So don't go and leave me lonely, I'll show you another way. And you say it's a one-night thing, but I want something more than that. So don't go and leave me lonely, I'll show you another way. So don't go and leave me lonely, I'll show you another way. Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
I just can't see all the angles. Chip, tap, digital wallet.
We can help with that.
I love trucking. The open road, the biscuits, and the gravy. Can you help me bank when I'm away?
Roger that. We got you, good buddy.
I won my first tournament. So now what?
You can deposit that check with the First Source mobile app.
I need
And there we are live. Woohoo! And music cued off. There we go. Perfect-amundo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Trisha. I don't need to collaborate with Hold My Pen Promptcast because I'm already live with Hold My Pen Promptcast. What the hell?
Yeah, I got that on mine too.
It's been a crazy day, not really doing a lot of anything for me, and obsessing over my reading journal. And I did, though, this past week get a bunch of January and February book reviews written and
Nice.
posted on my blog and whatnot. So we've been kind of doing promos in we have a promo bit in our Discord, which you can find the Discord at the link in the bio on the page, etc., etc. Welcome to our new chatter, book buyer. Welcome to our weekly Saturday night reading of prompt submissions. We are Hold My Pen Promptcast. Our fearless leader is dealing with a spark plug issue. So
Occupado.
she will probably be on later if she can get the household things situated. And I think my child should be coming home later. Hopefully, he remembers that mom is live. That'd be great.
There's never any guarantees on that.
Joy of no, never any guarantees on that. And the joys of living with your young adult children. Ta-da! Okay. Will that work? No, that will not work. I guess it just won't.
We're supposed to be done with this stuff,
Whatever.
Izzy.
Well,
Yeah.
this is not technological scuff. This
Yeah, true.
is yeah, no, my frame rate is not good because I'm actually running two different computers to run this and for whatever reason on the back end I look clear as fucking day. But over here
I've seen you
no
look
bueno.
worse. I've seen you look a
Yeah,
lot worse.
Right.
you've looked like you were made in the '60s at one point, and you're crystal clear audio wise, so we'll take it.
Mhm. Yep.
There's a baby Maggie.
Oh,
Oh, look, it's my
Maggie.
kitty. It's my kitty.
M- Maggie May, who apparently just needed some loving.
Yeah, we all do.
Aw, Yorkies are fun. They're itty bitty. Are they itty
Where are all
bitties
my
or
demons?
regular? Well, regular Yorkies are itty bitty too. So
Yeah,
My two demons
no
are
offense
asleep
to
right now.
those. No offense to those who absolutely love small dogs.
You're not a little
Fucking
dog
ankle
person.
biter.
Hey, only the poorly
No,
trained ones.
no.
Only the poorly trained ones.
Here's the problem. I'm afraid I'm going to break them.
I mean, that's fair. They're definitely tougher that stronger than they look, but it is fair to have that mentality. At least you're not the kind of person who has the thoughts of, I can't punish them. They're so little and it will hurt their feelings. That's how you get the spoiled dogs who have the bad reputations that ruin it for all the other little dogs.
Right. And I have said before that I will never have a small dog. I just never will.
Yeah.
Dogs you wrestle with. So they got to
Yeah.
be big enough to wrestle with.
Yeah.
However,
I don't know.
My uncle is getting worse and worse and my aunt may have to put her brother into a different living situation because he's being very very forgetful.
And you want that
He
dog.
has he has a like about to turn or just turned 2
Yeah.
dog named Minnie, so I would have Maggie and Minnie, uh, and Minnie is half Jack Russell, half
Say it.
Chihuahua.
Yep, yep. So you know that has to be a very well trained dog because that could very easily turn into a monster.
And
My
my uncle has had uh 3 Chihuahuas in the time that I've known him.
So he
This
knows
is
what
the
he's doing.
first one where it's a Chihuahua mix. And the thing is that the first 3 were named Peanut. But
Yeah, she's
Minnie
gonna need
came
luck.
with a name and is female, whereas all the Peanuts were
Male.
male.
Yep.
There had to have been a joke in there somewhere. Um, but if you know my sense of humor, I'm not the weird one in the family. We're
Yeah.
all like this.
Yeah.
So, um, but he just fell in love with Minnie, and I played with her a bunch and was playing fetch. And he took me into his house 2 summers ago, and or a summer last summer. I dropped off some mail, and Minnie would not leave me alone. Minnie would not
Mm.
leave me alone, and but she was, like, cuddling and loving and jumping up and I kept going, "No, come on, let's lay down," and then she would turn around on my lap and sit, and then she'd run off and bring me a toy and wanna play tug of war. But again,
And you fell in love.
she was only about a year old at that point. She doesn't make
You're a
messes in the
baby.
house. She loves going on walks, and hey, maybe she might get me to go walking and actually exercising again.
Yeah.
So, oh, well, book buyer, here's the thing. This is number 6 of 7
Yeah.
in the house.
Yeah. That dog would be outnumbered.
So, when we bring Minnie into this craziness of 7 feline terrorists, poor Minnie is going to be outnumbered and picked on because I think our largest cat, Titan, appropriately named, is bigger than Minnie.
He's aptly named.
Yes. Yes, they are also called the 7 Furry Sins, and they will get their own book series.
I'm waiting
They
for
will.
that one.
What would be really great is if I could turn it into like a series of graphic novels, like 7 graphic novels would
That'd
be
be cute.
phenomenal, but I can't draw worth a shit. Uh
Well,
yeah,
we have an ad.
Titan weighs in at 15 pounds, and when I hold him, he takes up the entirety of my torso. And he's a medium to long haired cat who also is part of the Orange Idiot Club. Bye, Max. Bye, Maximilian. Oh, I don't know if this can be seen.
Oh, I saw the pictures when it was fresh. That was brutal.
Yeah, I don't think that can be seen, but you can
It
kind of see one line
There's
there.
like a shadow.
This is yeah, that shadow, it was actually a very gnarly looking scratch scrape.
Oh,
Um,
there's the ad.
so 3 weeks of healing. So, yep, ad.
Yep.
And just a wonderful piece of note, subscribers do not have our ads. Um, if you have Amazon Prime and you're not using your Amazon Prime subscription for somebody else, consider giving it to us because you don't it doesn't cost you anything other than your regularly scheduled Prime subscription, and good to go. Wow, this is awesome. We have 9 people in the room now. Of course, 4 of them are
Yeah.
us. But
Still.
still, it's fine. It's fine. Engagement in the chat does also push off ads. So, uh we're awesome there.
Woo!
I don't know if anyone is on Reddit, but I'm currently building our subreddit for the podcast. So there's that.
I saw. I've
Yes.
been I've been milling around Reddit in the reading section, trying to post my book where I'm allowed to, but I've been
Yeah.
meaning to get more active on there, honestly.
Well,
Yeah.
it
Yep.
could make you a one of the mods for the group, and you can post it in ours.
Sure.
Yep. Yep. Still
Basically, I
working
want.
on some of those rules and whatnot, and
Yeah,
Kesh is doing a really awesome job of that. So
but
we
I
all
was
have rules and roles around here.
But
It
what
is
I
a
was
group
thinking
effort.
is having one day a week where people can like post their stuff and like push it out for anyone who's on the subreddit. That way we're not like having it like constant.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Promo Wednesday.
What about Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday would be a good day for
Oh,
promos.
Yeah.
promo Wednesday.
I was thinking Sundays too, but Wednesdays,
Self
I,
self promo Sunday.
yeah, we'll
Right.
figure it out.
We
I'll work it
absolutely
out.
will. And you know, the only reason I was saying Wednesday is because Wednesday is hump day, and sometimes it's like you need that emotional bump,
Yeah.
right? And ooh, I get to go promote myself. It's Wednesday. I can go promote myself. Looking forward to the weekend. This, that, and the other, like
I
published stuff or
I
and
I I I haven't really had to worry about what day of the week it is for like the last 7 years, but for other people, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I don't have hump days or weekends anymore. If it wasn't for this show and the particular web comics that I follow that update on a weekly basis, I would lose track of what day it was.
I mean, you're in like living the dream and living off the grid, so understandable.
I am in the butt fucking middle of nowhere, man. I have to drive
Yeah.
40 minutes on a dirt road to get to the closest highway.
Like I said, you live in the dream. I would love that
I
sometimes
mean,
at least.
I I would like to have running hot water and a proper toilet rather than an outhouse, but other than that,
Oh, I feel that. But I'd love to be able to just like have a like 20-minute drive on a dirt road to someplace no
Mm.
one else is after work and just be left alone.
yeah. Fun fact, it's actually faster to get from the highway to my place on a four-wheeler than it is a car because the road is so rocky and bumpy and gnarly that you can go fast on a four-wheeler, but on a car you got to creep along so you don't fuck your suspension up.
Oh my goodness.
Right. Oh, I can imagine that. All right, there we go. There we go. Make sure I'm good to go. Hey,
All right, well,
I
it's
think we're good.
9:30. Think we're good?
It is after 9:30, your time,
Yes, my time. Yes.
8:30, Kesh and I's time, and 7:30, Patrick and Julie's time.
When
So,
Julie eventually
to
gets here.
talk a little bit about us, which I normally leave completely to Julie, we are the Hold My Pen Promptcast. Every week, we gather here at the end of tonight's stream. We will roll and choose out of a master set of prompts, and then you, the audience members, will vote which of the
Mhm.
6 prompts you want us to do. And it's not just us, you can do it as well. So even if you're not a writer, you can vote and pick what kind of torture you want to put us through. This past week's prompt, as voted by you, the audience, which I got to pull up our running Discord channel, use this dialogue. You're not a very convincing liar. And we've got 4 submissions tonight. We're hoping to get through all 4 tonight. But come join us tomorrow because Julie and I are going to try and finish up a prompt or submit something. And Shar said she might do it as well, so that we
I'll
have
do my best.
our 2 nights uh, so that way we can make sure that we are keeping our streams, our hours, and everything up to go. So, our first submission is from our first prompter. That is an official title. Nobody can take it from her. Trisha Jones. And this is a return. This is a return to something that she submitted before.
Ooh.
And this line, if you remember, this line should cue you back up into what it was. But mother, you told me to wear black, I said in mock
Oh.
innocence. She gritted her teeth so hard I swore her fangs would snap. Now, Mother, if you don't stop gritting your teeth, you will need fang implants. Don't you dare tell me what I told you to wear. She did ease up on her fangs. You knew I wanted you to wear something elegant and sophisticated, not this little bit of silk. I happen to like this little bit of silk, Mother. I snapped at her. Don't take that tone with me. She was about to say something else when she noticed the music had changed to something she finds dreadful. She rushed off to stop the band from playing the song I requested and to find out who on God's green earth said they should play that at her party. I chuckled to myself and walked back to the party to find Ethan. I found him sitting next to the bar. He looked up just as I reached him. With a smile, he asked, "How did your talk with Mother go?" "Oh, she told me how much she loves my dress, then had to go see the band about the wonderful song they were playing," I responded with a smirk. "You are a horrible liar," he laughed. I sighed. You know, Mother could not let the party go by without saying something about my dress or actions. About that time, Mother made her way to Ethan and I. "Alana, how dare you?" I turned to look at her. "How dare I what, Mother?" "You requested that dreadful song," she said, wanting to yell, but didn't want to draw attention. "Now, Mother, why would I do something like that?" I said in my best innocent voice. "Don't you lie to me, Alana." She spat. "They told me you requested it." "Mother, you have them playing the most boring songs. I just wanted to liven up your party." "Alana, if you find my party to be so boring, you can just leave," she said through gritted teeth. "Thank you, Mother," I said as I walked back to the house. "Hey, wait up!" Ethan yelled, running up behind me. "Did she ask you to leave as well?" I asked him as he came up next to me. "No, actually, she sent me to bring you back." I stopped and turned to face him. "What?" "She asked me to bring you back," he said. "Apparently, she didn't think you would leave and was shocked when you did." "Do you expect me to go back?" I asked. He chuckled. "No, but it gives me a reason to leave as well." "Then we need to make it look good. She is watching." "All right," Ethan said as he grabbed my arm. "Come on, Alana. You know how much this means to Mother." He winked at me. I dramatically pulled away. "She just wants me there to make her look good." I stomped off with Ethan following me as we mock argued until we were out of earshot of the party. Once inside the house, I went to my room. I changed and started packing my things to leave. After a while, the party sounds faded. "The party must have ended," I said more to myself. "Yeah, Mother is pissed," I heard from behind me. I turned to see Ethan standing in the doorway. "I'm sure she is." At that point, we heard our mother stomping to my room. Ethan hurriedly left as my mother came to my door. "How dare you?" she growled. "You embarrass me." "I embarrassed you?" I stood facing her. "Mother, I didn't want to be here in the first place. The only reason I came was to minimize any damage you would have caused if I refused to be here." "You wore that so-called dress. Everyone was talking about you," she argued. "And that music, it was dreadful." "Oh, you are angry because for a short period of time that I was out there, you were not the center of attention," I said, picking up my packed bags. "You don't need to worry about that anymore. I am leaving." I walked past her out of the bedroom. She stood there, dumbfounded for a few moments before she came after me. "Where do you think you're going?" she yelled. "We are not done here." I yelled back, "I am done. Going home." I reached the front door when she said, "If you leave now, you can never come back." "That's the plan," I yelled as I slammed the front door. I got in my car and made my way back to my home where I do not have to deal with her ever again.
It's just proof even vampires aren't free of family drama.
Yeah,
Hey, you
got
beat
that
me to
right.
it.
Yep.
My stomach dropped as soon as you said that first line. I'm like, oh no, I know this story.
I love hearing from these vampires. Is this part of one of your series? I can't remember, Trisha,
I don't
I can't
believe
stop
so.
yawning.
or it's standalone.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to refresh my page. The lag is ridiculous. Another excellent little tidbit from Trisha. Always leaving us wanting more with just a little taste.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Just a wee bit of taste. Wee bit of taste.
Fucking vampires, always the drama queens.
It's always Marsha, Marsha, Marsha.
Look, it seems without fail, anytime you want drama, you just gotta pull a vampire in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
really?
Or a very broody shifter.
Well, the shifters are a different kind of drama. Shifters like to like they're about the aggressiveness, about like the loud, sharp, violent fights. Vampires are about the drama. It's like prom, but constantly.
Which is why, like I've got that. I do have that werewolf, book, but like as soon as I say werewolf, people assume shifters,
Mm,
and
no, there's a difference.
shifter implies, although not required, but shifter implies the fated mates, the being able to sniff out, and seeing all of that. No, no.
Yes, I don't automatically equate shifters with fated mates. In fact, I quite dislike fated mates. For me, the difference between a werewolf and a shifter is werewolves are cursed and it happens on select nights of the month, whereas shifters can do it at will whenever they want. That's the difference for me.
Ah, that's the difference for you.
For me, in my
Okay.
head, that's the difference.
Well, and quite often I hear all this stuff about it's either fated mates or second chance mates, or there's some kind of instant bond. Once
I
you
hate that
bite
stuff.
one another, you're mated. There's nothing that can break it, and all of that mystical side of it. So I
Yeah.
feel like there's more of that with the shifter. Um, whereas for me, werewolf could be cursed, right? The wolf man, the old whatever. Uh I'm mine's doing something a little bit different because they can shift at will.
No.
They can. Uh but they're not cursed to do it at the moon, full moon or whatever. It's more of a evolutionary change in and a genetic thing. But you
That's
can be
cool.
bitten and infected, so it's also like a viral thing.
Yeah. So the shifter book that I wrote, it's not a Fated Mates. Like like I think I've read probably 30 or 40 Fated Mate stories trying to find one that I like, and I think I found like four that I like. It has to be done in a very specific way for me to enjoy it. So I'm not the one to
Oh.
come to for that kind of genre. The anonymous one that we're reading, I'm enjoying that one. And Destined for More. I don't know if it's Fated Mates or not, but I'm enjoying that one. But it's it's I look for very key marks when it comes to watching that kind of stuff. Most of the time, I find it to be very tedious, very soap opera, very dramatic, very ridiculous, and so I hate it. Um, the shifter ones that I wrote, I consider a shifter because they can change at will. They're not regulated just to wolves. There's multiple different races, and there's also no fated mating. And it can't be passed along through biting. It's genetic, whereas the offspring have a chance of being a shifter, but it's not guaranteed.
Right.
But that's also something that I love about the shifter genre is everyone looks at it differently. Everyone has a different take on it. That's why some fated mates I
Mhm.
love, but most fated mates I hate because people have different takes
Yeah.
on it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, as the
Welcome,
person who
Julie.
Yeah,
writes
Leah's
or
here.
writes that shifter, yes, Destin is fated mates, but not in
Mm.
fated mates in the way you think they're fated mates.
Not the way it's been done
Um,
1,000 times already.
no, it's not. It's very unique in the sense that um, Rose, the whole lore around my shifters, which I still call very much werewolves.
Mm.
Um, the whole thing around mine is there's certain laws, there's certain magical influences that are like supposed to be set in stone. Like you're only supposed to be able to be impregnated by your mate. Um, as everybody knows from the beginning of my story, that's not the case. But it's something that offsets it that causes her to be able to be impregnated by somebody other than her mate.
Well, and like you and I were, working on when I was making notes in the Julie Bible, it's because it is so rare, your werewolf society thinks that it's only possible to be impregnated by your mate, right?
Right. If it
And
does happen,
um
it's very rare for it to happen.
and something else has to be present or triggering it or making it more likely, right?
Right.
So and that's where you've got the medical genetic DNA side of things merging with the mystical, which is what
Right.
makes it unique in that. So
Also,
I'll be right back.
okay. Also in mine, you have werewolves and lichens are two different species. They are all the same within the same, but they're two sides of a very the same coin. Lichens are two legged. They're typically bigger. They're typically more muscular. Um,
They're a standard
very
Wolfman kind of look.
exactly. Um, think underworld.
Yeah.
Okay, very much so. And then my like Rose. But here's the funny thing: Rose, after the initial bite between her and her maid, she's technically a half breed at that point because that's also what triggers her other special abilities. Which,
Mm.
if you would like to know that, please read Desperate for More. Uh,
Oh, there's more drama happening. But there's another key difference that I did with my shifters that I've seen a lot of other popular shifter books out there is my shifters don't have a separate wolf inside them, where it's like two beings sharing one body where they can talk to their wolf and it's got a different name and everything. It's just them, wolf or human. It's just them.
And in mine, there is that duality
Mm.
in the Chimera Wolf, Chimera Clan. Then you have Decoding Shady Pines.
Yeah,
I play that duality because I wanted that differency in
yeah,
nature of man versus beast.
yeah. Yeah, no, in mine, doesn't matter if they're big floofies or if they're lumbering morons. It's still that same idiot.
Not much difference in the real world, then, huh?
Right? It's just a little more furry. I actually wrote some fan fiction over the weekend for one of my favorite fandoms that actually have werewolves in them or shifters in them. but it was about the shifters refusing to shift back out of their wolf forms after going on a solstice run, and they're fucking filthy. So their mates have to bathe them while they're stuck in their wolf forms.
Oh,
It's just these poor mates having to deal with these giant, dire wolf-sized wolves that will not change back because they're too hyped up by solstice magic. They're just like, no, no, I'm having too much fun. And one of them actually has a vampire mate, so he's strong enough to actually just pick his wolf up and just carry them into the bathroom. Like, nope, nope, you're filthy. I had so much fun with it. I posted it on Tumblr, and everyone else in the fandom's losing their minds over it. It's great. It's hilarious.
See, and mine are like Shars, where there is no duality.
Yeah.
The I mean, Finn, he very rarely shifts because he doesn't want to take the risk of potentially scratching someone, biting somebody, potentially infecting them. So it's that war within himself that is not more blatantly object, available. And I love that all of these different subgenres of
Yeah.
books, and series, they can be taken in so many different ways. It's why we've
Yeah.
got so many indie authors.
It's so
And I
cool.
love it.
It's so
Yep.
cool.
5-minute warning.
For an ad. Part of me actually now that we're talking about it, I kind of actually want to submit that fan fiction to be read out loud because you don't really need context for it. You just got to know that there's a bunch of people dealing with their fucking werewolf mates that won't change back and they got to bathe them. But it's like 6,000 words. It's pretty lengthy.
Well, it would fill up
Maybe on a
time.
slow night.
Yeah, and maybe if we have enough time at the end of the night, I'll get easy to read it.
Well, and we're gonna have a slow night tomorrow night because we're only we've only got 2 potential that we know of
Tell you what,
people who are could. So
if I don't get something for the prompt pulled out of my brain written, I'll send that fan fiction in instead.
that sounds great. Oh, pardon me.
Lovely.
Belching like
Butch
crazy.
moment.
I was as gorgeous as you are.
Thank you.
God.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Some of the Facebook groups I belong to are just so naughty.
Oh, shuck. Shock.
Shock and awe.
Shock.
I want a Barbie and G.I. Joe for my birthday. Doesn't Barbie come with Ken? I'll let you think of the rest.
Oh my
oh
god.
my goodness.
Looks like we
And
lost
I gotta
the
clean
book
this
Goodness
out
buyer.
again.
gracious.
It still smells weird.
So, I'm going to be ordering more of the stuffed for shirts now that I've experimented and played with some stuff. I can tweak some sizes.
Cool.
I'm glad the glow was able to be visible on the colored one. I'm glad for that.
Yeah, me too.
There we go. Okay. Candle sticker label was starting to burn up at the edges from the.
Ugh.
Well,
I really need
and
to promote that story more.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I need to actually promote my shifter story more because it was literally the first book I ever wrote. Which honestly, I should probably go back and rewrite it because it's been like 4 years. But I neglect that
Yeah.
book so much, and I feel so bad for it. It's always mafia, mafia, mafia. I just completely neglect that book.
Sorry
Yay,
about that,
she's
guys.
back!
No, you're fine.
Yeah, unfortunately, the hubby's home, which means that
Mm.
everything's my feeling.
Yep.
Mm.
So,
And apparently
but
he turned off the TV when he walked in, or he let the TV go off when he came in. And now Aries has to start
Yeah, I was gonna
uh
say.
restart Mater Tales all the way from the beginning. And somebody didn't understand that, and instead we had a little gremlin screaming his head off.
I
Yeah.
am keeping my comments to myself.
Believe me, it's probably not comments that I haven't already thought.
I mean, fair. But yeah, Julie had been talking. Julie and I had been talking earlier this afternoon because I am working on next year's reading journal because, of course, I am getting it prepped so that way I can quickly film the setup and have it up and available. Um, and we know that Izzy has crazy TBR selection board games, and they come with TBR jars. And this is my pretty little kitty for banes and boons that my uh, youngest son got me for Mother's Day, and I burned the candle down. But the other one that he got me,
That is adorable.
Oh,
The little sphinx.
that's perfect for you.
it's a Coptic jar of Bast, aka Bastet. So the head comes off. Uh, and I just finished melting that down. And that is going to be for one of my other games, which is an Indiana Jones feel in kind of thing. But I also want to create this is the top of the pumpkin is over there, but it's this black pumpkin that I am going to fill with spooky books.
Nice.
And then I have another orange glass pumpkin that's going to be fall books.
Hmm.
I'm trying to embrace the idea that fall is a season. My sister and I argue about this all the time.
How have we
Uh,
never had this argument?
yeah, I'm just sitting here with fall being my favorite season of the four, but you know, whatever. Fuck me, I
Exactly.
guess.
That's what I was about to say. It's like my favorite season.
But funny, it's
Um,
kind of on topic. You know how you get those little news articles when you go to open a new tab? Um, one
mhm.
caught my eye. One caught my eye. As you're telling me this story, it's titled, "This man kept a meticulous list of all 3,599 books he's read since 1962. When he died, his family published it online." I'm sitting here thinking, I'm looking at Izzy's future right now. That is so cool.
Okay, no, we found a book. There is a book on I think it's on KU, but it is called Death by TBR.
Yeah.
And it's about a ghost that now lives in the library and is trying to make their way through their TBR when two college boys come in and they're trying to solve some sort of mystery, but they need her help. And at the same time, she's like, "But all I want to do is sit here and read."
Oh my goodness.
But like this article is literally talking about this extensive list that this man kept, listing all the books he read, how he felt about them, when he got them. Like it's literally what Izzy's doing. The only thing I haven't found is he's not including how much each book cost to justify the amount of money spent. That part hasn't been included yet. Apparently, it's almost 1,000 pages.
Well, it is
Wow.
3,000 books.
Yeah.
But even Izzy's broke down. I'm not sure exactly how many pages Izzy's extreme reading tracker is, though. If anybody would like to see Izzy's extreme reading tracker, uh, that's gonna be fun. But she does make a blank template that you can get from her Um,
Every
yeah.
December, I create a copy, get it set up and prepped for the next year, and then I publish a blank copy that people can make their own. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Hey, no, that's not even the right one. That's from 2 years ago. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Apparently, one of this man's more recent books was Ulysses, and the notes he left on it was very simple. It was the worst, pure torture.
And you know what? A lot of people have said that. I do believe we read that in. I want to say we read it in high school, but I don't know. We read so many damn books in high school that it was unreal, and half of them I don't fucking remember. And the ones that I do remember, that I actually, resonated with reading them. Like, technically, I read my very first werewolf book in high school, and it was called Blood and Chocolate. I was very
Oh, I know
disappointed
that
with the
one.
movie.
It's a bad
Very
I,
book.
disappointed.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
yeah.
Uh,
Apparently, every single book he got came from the library. He was an avid library goer.
and you know what? That proves that libraries save money. Uh,
Oh, trust
but
me. This year alone, by borrowing books from the library, I have saved myself $566.16.
Because I publish through
And
Draft Digital as well as Amazon. I've allowed libraries to purchase my books if they want them.
right, I have only spent $370.62 this year on books.
There you go.
Now that is going to go up once I figure out what I owe Patrick for his 2 books that still aren't listed in there. But yeah. All right, so we are on to the next prompt. Enough dilly
Yes.
dallying.
Yes.
Cause next is Kesh Butler, A Mother's Quest. The click of her 2-inch black heeled boots echoed off the walls of the cave, the black boot-cut jeans falling over their ankles and swaying with each step toward the coiled serpent chained to the deep gray-colored stone. That's a long-ass fucking sentence, just FYI. Jormungandr opened one of his yellow eyes, looking his visitor over with each step closer to where he lay, chained to the walls and ceiling of the cavernous chamber, barely able to move around the cave, let alone leave it. He watched as the stranger reached her hand out for him to get her scent, the appendage dangerously close to his mouth. All he had to do was snap, and he could have taken her in one bite. He flicked his tongue, getting a sense of who she was, and his posture changed. The scent was familiar, a comfort whenever he caught wind of it. She was Mother. That's my good boy. Come to your mother. Her voice was light and brought the serpent closer to her, him coiling around her the best he could with the chains holding onto his body. She wrapped her arms around his neck, planting a kiss in the center of his scaly forehead. He flicked his tongue out in pleasure, the attention from his mother both wanted and needed. Loki, you are playing a dangerous game giving that creature your attention. Thor came up from behind her, his shoulder length hair pulled back into a braid. He's my son, Thor. I don't expect you to understand, as you have never carried and birthed a child. I have, and I feel very fondly for all 3 of them. She continued to shower attention on the serpent as it peered around her, spying the other visitor. He hissed, knowing exactly who the other was. He doesn't like you being so close. Would you mind stepping back, please? Loki looked over her shoulder at him, who was easily twice her size, with bright red hair and beard that drew all attention to
Oh,
him when he walked into a room.
oh, I know who that is.
I don't feel the need to. He can sweat it out. Now is not the time for, well, you know. He was hesitant to enter that discussion at present, especially while Loki was fawning over the serpent. But eventually, it would need to be had. He's not going to harm me. You can step back, Thor. Loki assured him as he finally acquiesced to her wishes, taking a few steps back toward the entrance to the cave. My father is not going to like this at all, he grumbled as he watched the serpent relax and lean into his mother lovingly. If he hadn't known what he knew about the serpent's future, he would almost think that the creature was cute. But as it was, he was fated to fight the serpent at the end of the current world, killing an innocent child who knew no better.
Yep.
He will eventually be moved elsewhere once he has grown bigger, Thor added. It doesn't matter. I will find him then too. She wrapped her arms around Jormungandr's neck, giving her child a little more of her attention before she left him alone in the cave again. The serpent did his best to wrap some of his coils around her, returning the affection. I am so sorry, my sweet, sweet boy. I must go, but I will return as soon as I can. She planted a second kiss on the serpent's forehead. Turning, she started to walk away, leaving her child to sulk in his loneliness in a pile of coils on the floor of the cave. She brushed a tear from her cheek. You know that the humans say that you fathered Jormungandr and Fenrir, Thor said, trying to start a conversation with his sibling. The humans get a lot of things wrong. Loki shot him a look of contempt as they walked through the mouth of the cave and out into the world beyond. Oh, I know. They are as imperfect as we ourselves are, but I think it's always interesting to hear what they get wrong about us. It helps to see where their mentality is in relation to us. They do revere us as higher beings, Thor went on, ignoring her look and trying to get her to engage in conversation with him. You don't say. Her reply was all sarcasm as she rolled her eyes. She walked ahead of him, starting the perilous walk down the side of the rock face that the cave was in, carefully watching each step as she walked down the narrow path carved into the side of the cliff. Their progress was slow, but they eventually made it to the end of the path and onto solid ground again. You navigated that very well in those heels. I'm impressed, Thor commented, the compliment seeming to fall on deaf ears. Why are you even following me? What's the point, Thor? Loki's tone was irritable. She was trying so hard to get him to leave her be, but he was refusing to go anywhere else but where she was. I was bored and wanted to know what you were up to. Your mischief is pretty much always entertaining on some level. Thor's reply was flippant at best. She turned, shifting into her male form and getting into his face. In her male form, she was as tall as Thor, but slimmer. If you say one more thing to barb me like that, I will have to fight you. Something I don't particularly relish. Loki turned back around and shifted back into her preferred female form, continuing to walk the rest of the way to her car. The wind blew in such a way that it made the light duster she wore ripple behind her as she walked toward the tree line, Thor still behind her. I was hoping that maybe we could. He trailed off. Loki stopped in her tracks, sighing as she turned to look at him. You were never able to let that go, were you? She took a small step closer to him. We agreed that never happened, remember? She took another step, looking him in the eyes and giving him a look of disgust. Admit it, you enjoyed that as much as I did. Who's going to say anything? The birds? The squirrels? He looked at her and then motioned to the wild forest around them. No. Emphatically, no. Her hand came up and slapped him across the face. He laughed, a smirk on his lips as he looked her over. There is not enough.
was that?
Patrick.
Ah,
Patrick.
he did say he was making dinner. That's right. We all had the same reactions. Ow!
Yeah.
I was
So
worried it was these guys.
our dear brother is currently muted. There's not enough mead in the world to get me to do that again. Let it be. We made a mistake that night, one that I care not to repeat. She was closer to him than she cared to be, especially considering what he was asking from her. This will be the only other time. Promise. He followed her to her car, giving her a pleading look. Thor, you're not a very convincing liar. What's going to stop you from continuing to ask? If this continues, before we know it, it will become a thing. And then we have to hide from our wives. So again, I say no. Loki opened the door to her car, sitting down in the driver's seat while pressing the brake pedal and the start button simultaneously. The engine revved as the tiny roadster came to life. She rolled down the window and looked up at the other god. Where are you off to next? Thor bent down while ducking his head partially into the window. None of your business, and I would appreciate you not following me this time. She started to roll the window back up, but he placed his hand on the glass. Loki huffed, taking her finger off the button, eyeing him in annoyance. What? She snapped. Admit that you enjoyed it. He was trying to
You
use his
sucker.
boyish charm on her. I will do no such thing. I said no, and you aren't taking that answer. It's bad enough that it happened in the first place. Do you realize I had to avoid my own wife for 2 days so I didn't have to explain why I was limping? So not only no, but fuck no. She pushed his hand from the window and finished closing it, pulling off and peeling away at high speed, leaving him in her dust. Thor took a few steps in the direction that she had drove off in, stopping after looking down at the ground where the wheels of the roadster had left imprints in the dirt. He knelt down, reaching down and picking up something shiny, examining it as he cleaned the dirt off. He smiled as he palmed it and placed it in the inner pocket of his leather jacket, turning and heading toward his Harley. He patted the goat's head, mounted to the front of the bike for luck, and pulled his helmet over his head. The engine roared to life and he gunned it, pulling away and in the opposite direction.
Of course he runs.
She hadn't been inside the ruined palace for years, but something kept pulling her back. As it was, Loki had yet to figure out what the something was, but she hoped for some type of breakthrough through with each visit. But solutions always seemed to elude her. She turned around, looking up at the remains of the domed roof that had once held a mural of the sky and all the creatures that inhabited it. All that remained was a handful of shards reaching for the skies that they had once emulated. Continuing to walk, she began to head along a corridor that split off the main chamber, going deeper into the bowels of the building and into her past. This is where things had gone wrong, where everything changed for the worse, and her children became cursed and turned into the monstrous creatures were now, their fates to bring about the end of the world. There were gaps in her memory of the day of the attack. Every visit to the ruins came with hopes of recovering them. Each visit, she came out empty handed and no more informed than when she had gone in. There was no indication of who had done the attack or why. All she knew was that her and Sigyn had barely escaped with their lives once the youngest three of their children had been changed. Odin, Thor, and some of the other gods taking them and imprisoning them away, hidden from all. It took a while, but she had eventually found them. Loki did her best to visit them when she could, but she found it hard to tear herself away from the search for answers. Answers for herself and answers for Sigyn, and most of all, answers for her sons and daughter. She made a turn she hadn't in the past, going down toward the still intact part of the building. A second turn, and she pulled her phone out, turning the flashlight on as she stepped into the darkness. Loki moved the light along the wall, looking at the carved reliefs that ran along them. Once, there had been torches lighting the way, their warm glow leading down the corridor to a door she had no recollection of. Running her hand across one, she closed her eyes, remembering when she had taken Hel and Fenrir this way the day before the change, their small hands giggling at the feeling off the stone. Finally, something different. Maybe this time I will find some shred of an answer, Loki said aloud to the darkness. There is possibly an answer behind that door, but might not be what you are wanting to find. The darkness answered back, startling her. Who's there? She moved the light around her in a large arc, trying to find the source of the voice. A friend? Or maybe an enemy? That has yet to be determined. It all depends on your choices. The voice came from the opposite direction from where it had previously. Loki turned the light toward the new direction, still not seeing anyone there. The light caught the flash of something as it passed by, Loki swinging it back to where it had been, only to see nothing there. My first question for you, Loki. Why do you come to this place so often? What is it that you seek? The voice had moved again. This time it sounded like they were down the hall in front of the door. I want answers. For me, and my family, my wife, my children. She slowly moved her light from pointing to her feet to shining down the corridor, shedding light on the source of the voice. Leaning against the wall in front of the door was a woman in a flowing black dress, with greenish skin and black hair carefully rolled into a series of braids. She had dark sunglasses over her eyes. The collar of the black trench coat she wore popped up and standing by her ears. Peeking out from between her neck and the collar of the coat, Loki swore she could see the head of a snake.
I knew it.
Who are you? She asked the stranger, unsure of what she was seeing when she thought she saw the heads of snakes peeking out and from behind the woman's shoulders. Hopefully, a friend, and with those hopes, answers. She slowly began to come closer to where Loki stood. She knew those were the heads of snakes once the other woman had started to move. How do I know I can truly trust you? What if you are the one responsible for this tragedy on my family? She asked the stranger, not sure if she should trust someone who covered their eyes or not. Well, if I wasn't here to help, I would have turned you to a statue the second our eyes met. As it is, the glasses keep you safe. The woman tapped the dark lenses of the sunglasses she wore. As she stopped short of Loki, her hand reached up and scratched the head that was hanging out over her shoulder. You're an Olympian? Loki was a little caught off guard at one of them being found so far to the north of their home territory. I don't generally align myself with Zeus and his ilk, but for brevity, yes. I am an Olympian. More specifically, I am one of the Gorgons, she explained, reaching to scratch the head of a second snake that had appeared from behind her. So, why are you this far away from home then? She continued watching the strange woman scratch the heads of each snake that appeared from behind her, wondering where they were coming from and how many there were. I like to help other women with their problems, whatever they might be. Once I came here, I sensed you needed help, my friend. Her answer was a little too vague for Loki's taste. But I'm not a woman, she countered, wanting to see what the stranger's reaction would be. You aren't a man either, so close enough for my purposes. The woman smiled, the snake like fangs in her mouth startling Loki. I'm sorry. I hope that my fangs didn't bother you. She apologized, placing her hands over her mouth. She was genuinely acting like she had made a mistake. Oh, no, I just didn't expect. Well, I didn't know what to expect. She looked at the woman, the dark sunglasses off putting in the low light of the light from the phone. That's fair. My name is Medusa. I assume you are Loki, yes? I didn't get who you are wrong? The stranger introduced herself, extending her hand for her to shake. Yes, the statue comment makes so much more sense now. She finished shaking her hand, pulling hers back and looking over her shoulder to the opening of the corridor. Have you been waiting for me here? Loki asked her as she turned back around to look at her. No, I've actually been following you for a few days. I unfortunately was there when Thor propositioned you. Very unfortunate that he's too important for the fate of the world for me to deal with him for you. The side of her mouth lifted into a half smile, making Loki wish the woman had done something, even though the man was an important figure to all the pantheons across the planet. That's embarrassing that someone now knows one of my darkest mistakes. Loki blushed and looked away from Medusa. Your secret is safe with me. Like I said, I am here to help with your problem, she offered, stepping closer and placing a hand reassuringly on Loki's shoulder. Which one? I feel like I have so many I don't know where to start. Her head dipped, her eyes looking at the circle of light on the ground where a brown garden spider was walking toward the edge. Fuck you, Cash. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Friend of yours? Medusa indicated the spider, watching Loki intently. If I remember correctly, one of your forms is that of a spider, yes? She turned her gaze to the side as two of the snakeheads suddenly began to bite at each other. That's enough, you two. Lay flat now, she scolded, gently pushing them back behind her shoulder. Yes, it is. There are very few forms I cannot take. Loki looked back up, her eyes coming to rest on her original destination, the door at the end of the hall. Interesting. I might actually need some assistance that requires the ability to shapeshift. A partnership, perhaps, as a favor for my help? Medusa turned to look at the door, Loki getting a good look at the snakes hanging down her back, bound together with a ribbon. It allowed her to see that the snakes were the woman's hair. She hadn't put the two facts together. Do you know what's past the door? Medusa continued, looking at the door with curiosity. I can't remember. There's many things I've forgotten that happened both on that day and before. That's what I was going to investigate before we ran into each other. Loki started to walk toward the door. Passing Medusa, she jumped when the other woman placed one of her delicate, greenish hands on her shoulder. She smiled, indicating that she should proceed. She was gently letting Loki know she wasn't alone in this. The hand slid off her shoulder, and Medusa took up behind her as she continued to the door. Loki reached out a shaky hand to take the handle, not sure why she was all of a sudden feeling fear spread through her body. She was starting to get a strong sense that there might be some form of answer behind the door. Loki, it's okay. You are not alone. Even if I wasn't here, Sigyn stands behind you in this search, as do Freya and Frigga. A terrible thing was done to your family. For what? Fate? They are still your children. You are owed an explanation. You have every right to know what happened that day. Medusa urged her on, her voice steady and supportive. Wait, how do you know that Freya and Frigga have given me help and support? Loki turned to face her, a confused look across her face. They are the ones who contacted me. I think they felt I could be of more help than either of them could. The answer made sense to Loki and was very much in line with what the two goddesses would do. All right, then. She turned back toward the door, grasping the handle again. This time she pushed down, the click of the door mechanism loud in the otherwise deafening silence. The door opened, revealing the palace's library, which looked to have been partially claimed by the woods on the other side of the hole in the wall of the room. What drew Loki's attention, though, was the figure standing in the middle of the room. Odin, why are you here? Loki asked in confusion. The leader of her pantheon stood before her in a sharply pressed, double-breasted suit, his white hair slicked back and pulled into a ponytail while his beard was neatly trimmed into a point that ended between his collarbones. His beard was topped by a neatly waxed handlebar mustache. The patch over his left eye matched the color and texture of the suit, giving him a very intimidating but put together look. You seek knowledge. Knowledge is what I deal in, remember? Meeting in the library seems appropriate. His response was slow and laced with an almost menacing tone. It felt to Loki that he didn't want her continuing her search. The Gorgon. Interesting seeing you here, so far from home. Shaking his head, the man stepped closer to the two women, looking as if he was sizing Medusa up for a fight. I am afraid that you being here is a violation of the charter between the pantheons. Or am I wrong? He smiled, like he had caught her with her hands someplace they shouldn't be. Loki felt like she was missing something, but then again, that's why she was standing in the ruins of the palace she had once called home. She was missing information. I was asked here by two members of your own pantheon. I am a guest, here to help Loki on her quest for answers. She stepped a little in front of Loki, almost as if she were getting ready to protect her. From Odin or something else? She couldn't say. I wouldn't if I were you, Gorgon. Odin tapped next to his eye, wagging his finger slowly at Medusa. It's not like you can stop me. Once the glasses are off, the process is instant. You know, I've noticed that whatever has been infecting the human men, making them more aggressive toward women, has started to also affect the men in the different pantheons. I think there is more to this than just men being men. She looked over her shoulder briefly at Loki, indicating to her to back away. He's behind everything, isn't he? Loki whispered, taking a step back and giving Medusa some space. Several of the snakes that made up her hair started to try and stand on end, agitated from not being able to stretch with their full range of motion. Possibly. I'm not very sure, though, because all the different clues I have found point to so many different directions that I'm not sure of anything at this point. I was just asked to see if I could help you, not get involved in the interpantheon struggles in your part of the world. To Loki, she sounded irritated, something she felt shouldn't be unexpected given the situation. The two things may be interconnected. She took another step back from Medusa, the other woman starting to follow suit and take steps of her own back away from Odin. Run! Medusa yelled at Loki, turning back toward the door and pushing her on the shoulder to get her moving quickly. She began to go as fast as she could, Medusa right behind her, the snakes hissing at whatever was going on behind them. She hadn't seen what Odin had been doing once they turned around and escaped. The wall by the door exploded behind them, the force from it throwing both women down through the hallway and into the open area under the dome. Loki blacked out for what seemed like moments, coming to with Medusa trying to wake her up. What? She tried to sit up, her head spinning with the effort and laying her head back down as a result. Don't move too fast. I think we're fine. Odin is gone and the library was destroyed. I have no idea what any of that was about, she said as she helped Loki sit up more slowly. Did Odin do that? She looked at Medusa and then at the corridor entrance where debris from the library had landed, most of the paper having been charred. I really can't tell you that. I didn't see, but from the chain of events, I think he had something to do with it. She didn't sound very convinced of her own explanation, but Loki had to take her word till another theory made itself known. I think we need to leave. Loki stood with Medusa's help, and they headed out of the front of the ruins to her car with urgency, both women climbing into the little roadster. They drove away, not knowing where they were headed. Dun, dun, dun.
Man.
First of all, thank you so much for respecting the old classic Norse and making him a redhead and not blonde. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for that. Because like I was listening, I was like, oh, okay, we got some Thor and Loki stuff going on here. Okay, interesting. Then as soon as you said redhead, I went, oh, we're going classic. This isn't Marvel. This is classic. Oh shit.
Yeah. And for
I'm
some
so
reason,
happy.
I accidentally slipped the sibling thing in, and I know that's a Marvel thing, and I don't know
It's
why that slipped in.
the last 15, 20 years of fucking Disney and Marvel, Sony just dripping into our brains. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around Loki being a female. But there's a
Oh yeah,
lot of
that's
things where Loki is gender fluid and he flips back and
oh
forth
yeah.
between two forms.
Oh yeah, and has given birth to multiple
I'm
like oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Tom Hiddleston as a woman would be a chef's
Oh,
kiss performance.
I hadn't even thought of that.
I mean, Swayze did it.
ah,
Swayze
Swayze
did
did a
it.
damn good job at it.
ah.
Wesley Snipes did it. Tootsie, Dustin Hoffman.
Um,
Tom Hiddleston
Redmayne.
is not Tom Hiddleston is not allowed to dress as a woman because he will cause 3/4 of the population to go feral.
Okay, maybe we need the feral.
I
I,
mean,
I'm,
you're not
I'm
wrong.
just.
I mean, technically,
But yeah, no, classic lore. Loki absolutely hops between genders and gives birth multiple times and has relations with animals to give birth to other animals. Absolutely. Um, I love that you wove other
Absolutely.
pantheons in, though. I love that you included the Egyptian gods and the Greek gods. I was like, that was really cool. I love that.
I mean, literally, it does smack like adult Riordan universe
What's that?
Yeah.
I missed
because
that one.
all of the all of the different pantheons. They've got crossovers and whatnot, and it's designed for middle grade, so it's great. And now we have this adult one where
Well,
mhm.
also in the chick I follow on TikTok that does the House Spells series, they have
JC.
their or JC, yes. Uh she has it where Loki comes in and Loki ends up having a baby with Cthulhu. And
Yeah, they would.
uh
They would.
That makes
and
so
I
much
think the
sense.
funny part was it was one of the trainees at the help desk that answers the phone is talking to Cthulhu, and they're like, Loki and Cthulhu did what? And they're like, no,
Yeah.
asks that question, you send a nice gift, but you do not ask.
No.
And even then, I thought it was a little strange until I did research. But again, I thought it was strange. I'm like, how did I mean? Is Cthulhu because he's a water creature? Is that how that happened? Is like, and then somebody explained to me, no, Loki gender fluid, and I'm sitting there like, since when? Apparently, since ever.
Yeah, since 3,000 years ago.
Since ever.
Yep.
But for me, it was that's not the way Loki was ever explained to me. In all the mythologies and everything like that I've ever gone through, it's like that's never been explained. And I'm sitting there like, well, he is a shape shifting, technically supposed to be frost giant. So, and that all depends on which lore you go with, because some lores don't even have him as a frost giant or with frost giant lineage.
No, no,
Uh,
not this version. Not this version.
yeah. So I'm
He's
like,
a straight up trickster god.
right. But my favorite version of Loki was literally the son of the mask, and then having to explain why Loki did that. And I'm like, no, I get that. That's funny, regardless. But you had me at, and then I'm sitting there like snakes. This, I'm like Medusa.
As soon as you said that the
The
roles,
snake
I'm like,
came
Okay. And then the code, I'm like, oh, okay. And then you said, as soon as you said that she thought she saw a snake poking out from behind her, I'm like, Medusa.
down.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, no, yes, no, yes. So I just wrote it down in chat. I'm like, like question mark. Like, I mean, I don't know what other. I mean, I'm pretty sure if we go back and we look and see what was like heavily researched, there's probably another version of Medusa in a different pantheon in a different time.
Oh,
But
probably.
Medusa is the one that's commonly with us when you talk about a woman with snakes for hair.
Yeah. And there's even different versions of Medusa in our versions, because there's the original where she's one of three Gorgon sisters, and then there's the remake that was basically a retelling by Ovid, where she was actually a woman who was cursed by Athena after she was assaulted by Poseidon in Athena's temple.
Right. The version that I heavily lean toward, so to speak, was the she was a priestess, but she was heavily boastful, and
Are you sure that's not Arachne?
it might be
That sounds like Arachne.
Arachne was a priestess of Athena who was very
was
arrogant, so
a priestess of Athena.
Athena
She was
cursed her.
boastful. She's supposed to be for Athena, and in that process, when everybody kept oh you're so beautiful, oh you're so beautiful, what?
You're muted, hun. We can't hear you.
Yeah, because I muted him because he was being loud earlier.
Oh, he can't unmute it. Okay, but yeah, Arachne was,
Okay,
as
there
far
we
Thank
as I
you.
go.
know, Arachne was bragging about how she was a better weaver than Athena, and Athena didn't appreciate that. So she's like, "Oh, you want to be a weaver? Okay, I'll make you the ultimate weaver," and cursed her into a spider lady.
Yeah, there's that version as well. Like there's certain look. Athena was for the goddess of love.
She's not the goddess of love.
Athena is the goddess of wisdom.
No. Wisdom.
Athena is the
She
goddess
didn't
of
display
wisdom.
much. Wisdom
No,
and
it's
war.
Aphrodite that's the goddess of love.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Athena is the goddess of wisdom and wartime strategy.
Right. You would think, just by those two, that it's like, hey, you might need a little bit of a more understanding to those that pray to you versus I don't know.
But she was showing heresy. She was bragging that she was better than the goddess she worshipped, and they can't have that because the entire Trojan War happened because 3 different goddesses got upset when a man didn't pick them. A mortal man who didn't want to be in the situation in the first place. But yes, I love it. I love it when people play with classic mythology lore. I love it. I love it. I love it. There's a reason why I loved well, I guess I still love American Gods by Neil Gaiman was one of my favorite books
Yep.
in high school. And even though I'm severely displeased with him right now, the book is still very well written.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite ones too.
Yeah. I can sit here and talk about the gods for hours at a time. I made a TikTok because there was some video on TikTok that was like, stitch this with something that happens a lot in movies that drives you crazy. And mine was how they always get gods in different pantheons wrong. Like how Hades is always being made as the villain, and how Anubis is always being portrayed as evil, and there's all this stuff. And they always call him Hercules, son of Zeus, when it's Heracles is the son of Zeus because Hercules is the son of Jupiter, because you're getting your fucking Greek and Roman mixed up. And I'm gonna stop now because if I
Om Mani Padme Hum.
Okay. Personally, for me though, Zeus had several hundred children. So it's like, look, that man couldn't keep it in his pants even if he tried.
Zeus is responsible for
Hera
90%
was
of the
too.
world's problems.
Right.
Yep.
Well, and that was why I really liked, even though you've got Percy and you got Percy Part 2, Riordan really took those 10 books, the Greek 5
Mm,
and the
yeah.
Roman 5, and he really showed the difference between
Yep.
Zeus and Jupiter, Hera and
Diana? No.
okay, that's gonna bug me.
Yeah, I'm googling
Hera's
it.
Hera's name.
Juno.
Juno.
I should have known that because
I
they made
should
a
have
space
remembered
probe.
that.
They made a space probe named after her and they sent it to Jupiter.
Well, also,
My
if
my
anybody
first
ever
email address. My first email address was at juno.com. So
There's Hades and Uranus are their equivalents, I believe. I can't remember who Ares is.
Aries.
Mars,
Aries.
Mars,
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Mars, Aries, Mars, Aries,
Mer-
Mars, Aries
Mercury.
ruled by the planet Mars.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mercury is
God of War.
speedster guy, messenger.
Mercury?
Hermes,
Hermes.
Mercury.
Mercury.
Hermes is Mercury. Yeah.
Mercury.
Hermes, Mercury.
We basically named all the planets after the gods because a lot
We
of
did.
a lot of classic astrology happened over in Rome.
Oh, that's
Pluto.
because at that particular point that there were people over here, that's not necessarily what they were uh concentrating on. They had their own myths and their own legends, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry about the noise. I thought I had turned my camera off and I was already muted, but I ran out of
Yeah,
the room because,
you can hear everything.
yeah, I was baking my double stuffed chicken breast. Boneless skinless chicken breast,
Oh,
cream cheese, spinach, Gouda cheese, and rice and garlic bread.
Yeah, I mean, they are different. Um, and because today there, we've got the equivalencies, b- but the Greeks came first, but the Romans had their own, and then over time they slowly were like, "Hey, these are kind of similar." So maybe that's what actually happened, and they started to like integrate the Greek stories into their own gods that they already had, but they still had
you
their own attributes. So it was like,
you say integrate.
eh,
I say take over because they were trying to wipe out. Six of one, half a dozen of the other. It's mid.
eh. Well, but the Roman
I
gods
think the
still
Romans did to the
retained
Greeks like the
their
Christians
own
did to
things.
everybody else.
That's yeah.
In order to convert the Greeks to the Roman, they took on their gods and said, "No, you're actually celebrating my god."
Yep, just like the
For
Catholics
the
did.
Christianity to convert the pagans.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle. It keeps going.
Boy, I love telling people what actually happened when they talk about how St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland. I love telling people what that actually meant. And I don't like it.
Right. All right. So we have got two more. We've got our
Okay.
anonymous submission and Patrick's. So let's get going. First is anonymous. We're at chapter 15, Iron Dreams. The room had cleared. Only silence remained, thick and oppressive. The scent of blood still clung to the air, curling at the edges of Clary's senses like smoke that refused to dissipate. She stood there, unmoving, even after Reaver's laughter had long faded down the corridor. Her arms were crossed tightly over her chest, hands shaking so subtly that only she could feel it. The fire in her veins was cooling now, leaving behind something raw, scorched earth after the blaze. Anthony stepped toward her slowly, her expression unreadable, but his presence solid, grounding. He stopped just in front of her and tilted his head. You're pale. I'm fine, Clary said quickly, her voice clipped too fast. Really, I'm okay. He didn't answer right away, just studied her in that maddening way of his, like he could see everything she didn't say. Then, with that same careful intensity, he reached out and slipped an arm around her waist, pulling her into his chest with deliberate, unyielding gentleness. Clary didn't resist, but she didn't melt either. She just stood there, her face tucked against his shoulder, muscles rigid, breath uneven. Anthony's voice brushed her ear low and tender, but heavy with truth. You're not a very convincing liar. Her shoulders sagged, only slightly, but enough. Clary closed her eyes and let herself breathe him in, the scent of cedar and smoke, of safety. Her fingers curled into the fabric of his shirt, and for a moment she wasn't standing in blood soaked memory. She was just held. I can't fall apart, she whispered. You're not, Anthony murmured. His other hand rose to cup the back of her head, possessive and protective in the same breath. You're standing. That's what matters. Clary let out a weak laugh. Barely. He kissed her temple. Then I'll hold you up. Sorry. Sorry. For a moment, neither of them moved. The world could have been ending outside, and she wouldn't have noticed. Her face stayed tucked against his neck, her fists slowly unclenching. But then her voice cracked into the silence.
I saw her. Her fingers curled tighter around his shirt. Not in front of me, not really, but in my mind. The girl she used to be. I remembered her begging that man to take her instead of me. Anthony pulled back just enough to look at her, his hands still firm on her waist. His jaw flexed, a vein ticking in his temple, but his eyes, those golden, fiercely loyal eyes, stayed on her like she was the only thing anchoring him to reason. She saved me, Clary whispered, and I forgot her. For years, I forgot what she did for me, what she gave up. You were a child, he said gently. You didn't choose that. None of this was your fault. I still forgot her, she said, voice breaking. He brought his forehead to hers, holding her gaze. You remember now. That's what matters. That's what changes everything. A long silence stretched between them. I dreamed of her, Clary admitted, even before this. A tower, screaming, chains. I thought it was just nightmares. Anthony's expression darkened. It wasn't. She's alive, Clary said with a breathless certainty that scared her. He as much as said so. And if she is, she's somewhere out there, trapped, waiting for me. She's not waiting anymore. His voice was low, certain. You're coming. That's what she said. Sorry. Clary looked up at him, really looked at him. You believe me about all of this? I'd believe you if you told me the moon whispered secrets to you, he said without blinking. This I know. She choked on a quiet laugh, tears catching in her throat. You're really dangerous when you're sweet. You know that? A crooked smile tugged at his mouth. Only for you, Mia Luna. Clary pulled away gently from Anthony's arms, wiping the corner of her eye with the back of her hand. I need to check on Ava, she said, steadying her voice. She saw the blood this morning. I don't think she really understood what happened, but Anthony nodded. Go. I'll have someone clean the hallway before she sees it again. Clary found Ava curled on the couch in the sunroom, a blanket wrapped around her tiny frame, her sketchbook open on her lap. A cup of cocoa sat untouched on the table beside her. She looked up when Clary entered. Hi, Mommy. Clary smiled and crossed the room, kneeling in front of her daughter. Hey, sweetheart, you okay? Ava nodded, but her little brow was furrowed. I didn't like that noise. It made the house feel mean. Clary pulled her into a soft hug. It's over now. You're safe, baby. Nothing's going to hurt you. Ava leaned her cheek against her mother's shoulder. I know. Daddy got mad, didn't he? Clary stiffened slightly at the word daddy, but she didn't correct her. Anthony was that now, in more ways than one. Yeah, she said softly. He did. He was protecting us. Ava pulled back, reaching for her sketchbook. I drew something. Clary looked down at the page and froze. The picture was crude, childlike, but unmistakable. A tall, black tower loomed in the center with clouds swirling around it. A small figure, clearly meant to be Ava, stood at the bottom looking up. And at the top window, drawn in pale yellow crayon, was a woman. Tears streamed her face like rivers. The words written beside it in shaky block letters read, The lady cries for you. Clary's breath caught. Where did you see this? Clary's vision swam. Her hands trembled as she touched the locket around Ava's neck, the one her sister had given her as a child, the one Clary hadn't remembered until now. Anthony's voice was quiet behind her. Clary? She turned to him, still holding Ava. She's dreaming of her, Clary whispered, of my sister. He stepped forward slowly, eyes narrowing as he glanced at the drawing. That's not coincidence. No, Clary agreed, her voice hollow with awe. It's blood. It's connection. It's something deeper. She looked down at Ava again, brushing her hair from her face. Did the lady say anything else, baby? A chill crept up Clary's spine. Anthony's hand settled on her shoulder. We're not just looking for your sister anymore, he said quietly. We're racing the clock. I won't lose her, she said. Not again. Not either of them. Clary kissed the top of Ava's head as she pulled the blanket up to her chin. The little girl's breathing had already begun to even out, her sketchbook clutched protectively to her chest. Sleep, sweetheart, Clary whispered. I've got you. She stood slowly, careful not to disturb her daughter, then turned toward the doorway. Anthony stood there like a statue carved from shadow, his arms crossed, eyes unreadable in the low light. I want to see him, Clary said. Anthony didn't move. No. She stepped closer. I want to see him now. His jaw tightened. Not tonight, Clary. Take me, she said, voice low and dangerous, or I'll take myself. It's not like you can stop me. For a long moment, nothing passed between them but silence and the weight of shared pain. Then Anthony cursed under his breath, unfolding his arms. Fine, he growled, but stay behind me. You don't know what kind of shape he's in. The stairs to the dungeon groaned under their weight. The deeper they went, the colder it got. Damp stone walls closed in around them, the faint hum of magical words humming in the dark. The metallic scent of blood hit her first, sharp, acrid, impossible to miss. The guard stepped out from the hall at the base of the stairs, running a hand through his buzzed hair. Alpha, he greeted Anthony, eyes flicking to Clary, then quickly away. Report, Anthony snapped. Anthony's nostrils flared. I told you to keep him intact. The guard shrugged, unbothered, still breathing, for now. They walked past two more guards standing rigid at the final gate. The cell door creaked open. Reaver was slumped on the floor, shirt torn, dried blood crusting his chin and nose, one eye swollen shut, the other glittering with dull defiance. Clary stepped forward and froze. His mouth. It was wrong. Too still, too silent. Anthony noticed at the same time. What the hell? Reaver lifted his head slowly, then opened his mouth. There was nothing but a ragged black hollow where his tongue should have been. The guard behind them spoke up, sounding less confident now. You told us to take his tongue. I threatened it, Clary said through gritted teeth, stepping toward the bars, fury cold and rising. I didn't give a goddamn order. Anthony's eyes were blazing gold. Who did this? Don't know. Must have been one of the midnight crew, the guard muttered, shrinking under the weight of his alpha's glare. Inside the cell, Reaver tried to laugh, but it came out as a wheezing, garbled rattle. His eyes were bloodshot, but not broken. If anything, he looked more dangerous in silence. Now we'll never get answers, Clary said, barely breathing. Reaver smirked through split lips and blood-stained teeth. Whatever secrets you were keeping, I'll find them anyway. You took her from me, but this time I'm coming for her. And your boss? He'll choke on the prophecy he tried to control. Reaver's one good eye narrowed, but he didn't move, didn't blink. Clary turned to walk away when the sound of nails dragging over the stone floor stopped her. She slowly turned, casting her gaze at the cause of the noise. Reaver's hand, raw and bloody, scratched out only one word. Run.
I really like the name Reaver.
Well, then. Well, then.
Well,
Yeah.
I-
Um,
Seems to be getting a little deep.
It was very intriguing. Oh shit, my headphones are unplugged. I really
that
like the name Reaver.
that is some major ass shit, and I don't think who took his tongue is gonna let. I'm more afraid of Clary in this damn situation than the Alpha.
Yeah.
I mean,
You always fear the one that tamed the alpha. You always fear that one.
yeah, and a lot of people don't realize, especially in the male female dynamics in a lot of these books, and especially from what we've observed with this one, um, the Luna is a very important and very dynamic uh place and position. With this one though, because she is human, or so far we can atone that she is human. Um,
Assume. Right.
assume that she's human. Um, I don't know if this one is like what we were discussing earlier. Is can be changed by a transmission of a bite. We have not found that information. Why are you putting the creepy cat on the screen? I'm trying to talk, and words are already hard. Get the creepy cat off the screen.
It's cute and unassuming.
It's
That
creepy
is
in the course of why your cats are fighting each other.
this is this. It looks cute. It looks cute until you look at those eyes and that facial
Don't be
expression.
suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
This is what you have to be afraid of. And that's the women. And on top of that, um we aren't scared of Mama Black Bear without good reason.
Right.
I mean, I'm not scared of Mama Black Bears at all, but I understand what you mean.
Well, there's a healthy respect when you
Yes.
live on the fringe. You know, if there's a baby black bear, you're like, okay, not messing with the baby black bear because that
Yeah.
might anger a mama black bear, and that's just putting myself in a stupid situation.
Yeah,
Right.
because like black bears are absolutely the cowards of the bear race, but a mother is still a mother.
A mother is still a mother. Yep.
Uh, and it's one of those things, especially with bears or any animal in certain cases. If they think their spawn, their cubs or whatever, are in danger, they got no problem uh standing toe to toe with who's making them hurt.
Case in point, what's been happening offline in my neck of the woods.
Right.
Just saying. All right. Be right back. Going to the bathroom. We have an ad in about just under 3 minutes. So
I was
in
gonna
eight
say
minutes, we'll get started with our last submission.
now's a good time
Right.
for bathroom runs because we have an ad coming up. I was just about to say that.
I also have to go check on the gremlins, so I will be right
I'm making another gang sheet.
Another what?
Oh, a gang sheet. My logo.
Gang sheet?
hmm I
I
can
have no idea
order
what
it
that
from
is.
Pearl DTF. So Pearl DTF will give me a huge sheet. What is it? 22 inches by. Let's
Oh,
see.
okay.
It's 22 inches by 360 inches, which is 30 feet, for like $56,
It's printing
and it has
material.
all
Okay.
my images.
See, I literally like
So,
my brain went to actual gangs. Like, are you making like a call list for people you need in a gang? What the fuck are you doing?
well, I got my gang right here. It's called the
that's
Promptcast. Don't
I'm
mess with
so
us, because our
confused.
words will cut you.
That's why I was so confused. What is my hair doing? What is
I'll
this?
cut you with busting a rhyme. Uh,
My hair is so fried from this bleaching. Oh my god.
mm, I have enough to make my mouse pads. I have enough for the drawstring tote bags.
Nice.
I have the large QR codes. I have the small QR codes. I have it in black and white.
Welcome back.
Let's see. Oh, damn it. I continued it onto a second page.
The gremlin is feeling better now, so
Good.
no more.
Good. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that.
Well, he's had certain issues, uh, tummy wise, since
Mm.
birth. Um, and sometimes we can easily catch it, get it handled, not a big deal. Um, and then there's times like now where he hides the fact that he's not feeling well until he just starts wailing, and we're all sitting here
Yeah.
going, "What happens to be the problem?" So, but he's getting out of the tubby now, and all's well that ends well.
Good.
Now, if I can just get my ribs to stop hurting, that would be great.
Yeah. No, that's asking too much.
For me, it's asking too much, but if we actually took into account everything I did today, I probably, well, I didn't do a whole lot. I probably overextended. The new curtains came in today for
Nice.
both the kitchen and the living room. And in that process, though, the so I had to take the old curtains down. They had to be washed anyway, but I take the
Yeah.
old curtains down, get everything dusted, and then put the new curtains up. Well, the problem is I'm short.
You're a
So when
little
I had to go put the
teapot,
one up,
short and stout.
here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamy, then I just say fuck you and have a nice day. Uh, I was throwing the have a nice day part because I want to be a little bit nice about it. Uh, but for the most part, it was I had to get the rods down, of course, over my head. Well, the two front windows, and then I had to stand on the stool, and because the kitchen window is the exact size for the kitchen window, so I had to move. I just have a tension bar up there, so I had to take the tension bar down, take the curtains I just bought for that down, to put the new curtains that are supposed to be up there, and then sit there and put them in, I put them in one spot. Okay, no, I can still see the bottom of the window, and then kept having to move it down, and then I had to keep stretching it out and tightening it. So that takes a minute, and then I put a tension rod up above the washer, so I had somewhere to put hangers while I'm taking stuff out of the dryer and getting everything hung up. That way, it's not going into the basket. It's literally going onto the hangers, and then it's being put in the room. And if it is being folded, it's being folded right into the basket, and then it's being taken to that fucking room. Uh, that way there is no mountain of laundry on my living room couch anymore, especially after my upholstery cleaner comes in tomorrow. Because then the couch is getting cleaned and nobody's allowed in my freaking living room.
No.
Uh, until after everything is cleaned. So I'm trying to reclaim the house one room at a time, which is really hard when you have a neurodivergent child who
Yep.
thinks it's an automatic sin to put his stuff away.
I don't
So,
want to hear I'm short from any of y'all.
okay, mind you, yes, you are shorter than me, but at the same time, I had to climb on things to change the the curtains. Which doesn't hurt
Honey,
any less. I understand you have to you have to climb onto the counters to get anything off the top shelf.
I can't reach the top shelf. There are stools throughout the house that are not so children can reach things. It's so that mom can reach things.
That's my life in this fucking cabin, because this fucking cabin was built to the dimensions of a 5'11" man, and I'm 5'3".
I'm
Izzy's
5'1" and 3/4.
I was about to say, aren't you 5'2"?
I mean, in shoes, I'm 5'2".
Look at her giving you an extra half inch. Or quarter inch.
Nope, an extra 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
Because I remember when they measured me for my cap and gown senior year, and they're like 61 inches. And now when I get measured, I'm 61 3/4. And the doctor always wants to round up and everything. And I said, but that's not accurate. So can we please be accurate? And yeah. Anyway, but my license does say 5'2". I said, go ahead. Go ahead, because I'm not walking around barefoot.
Yeah,
All
that's a fair
right. So
point.
our last,
That's a fair point.
yeah. And if I'm going past those height things, right? Chances are I'm anywhere from 5'2" to 5'4", depending on the heel height. You know.
Yeah, depending on what shoes you're wearing.
And if I'm really fancy, I'm wearing my 4-inch stilettos. So, you know, that could be as much as 5'6".
Well, it's like when I was wearing my
Any
my
hoozles.
heels for pad. I was actually somewhere around like 5'8", 5'9", because I was coming eye to eye with a lot of people, and they're like, and then I took them off and stepped down. And everybody's like, "We didn't realize you were that short," and I'm like, "Shut up."
Yeah, I'm 5'7", but when I had my heels on, no one knew.
Oh, no.
All right,
I'm
last.
6 3/4.
Fuck.
All right.
I just got a new book idea. God damn it.
Okay.
Fuck!
And with that, we're going to get into our last submission of the evening. PA Power, yet another chapter in Heart of Stone. I know I sound very unenthused, but it's not that I'm not enthused. It's that Heart of Stone is breaking my heart. So,
Yeah, Patrick's got that habit.
got that habit. So,
Me?
this chapter,
I'm
yeah,
sweet, pure,
don't
and
act
sweet.
innocent. You're a
I
terrible
said sweet,
liar.
pure, and sweet.
You're a terrible liar.
Isn't that a line?
I was going to say, isn't that the prompt for this week?
Oh, speaking of prompt, I need to prep the dice.
Yes, you need to prep the dice. All right. This chapter is entitled Trial of Doubt. Hold, please hold. I need to get comfy because this is going to. Yes. Okay.
Okay, one quick thing before Izzy starts reading. Do we roll the big one tonight? Or do we stick with the little one? Because
it's just narrowing down a list to give us a number. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
well,
So it's up to you.
But my dice here lately have had a rhyme or reason for lying and death. So I mean, like, I'm just trying to figure where. Do we need to like put those on timeout for a minute?
That's up to you. All right, Trial of Doubt. Scott's scream tore through the cloister, echoing off the ancient stone like a wounded animal. Amanda's name was the last word on his lips before the blinding light swallowed her whole. He lunged forward, but the blast knocked him off his feet. His back hit the cold stone floor with a sickening thud, and pain bloomed across his chest. He writhed, clutching at the spot where she had stood. Amanda! Professor Lin rushed toward him, but was stopped as two massive stone figures, gargoyles awakened, stepped from the shadows and blocked her path. Dust and time fell from their joints as they moved, their eyes glowing with purpose. Then another stepped forward. He was larger than the others, his stony features more defined, as if carved with intention rather than erosion. His gaze landed on the professor. Professor, he said, his voice deep, a rumble like shifting earth. Lynn blinked. Ezra. Oh my. Ezra knelt beside Scott's crumpled form. His massive stone hand hovered uncertainly before he rested it gently on Scott's chest. Boy, wake up, he whispered, voice trembling with something that sounded almost human, almost paternal. A sudden chill swept through the cloister. The air shimmered, then parted as a ghostly woman appeared, her form clothed in layers of mist and memory. Her eyes, ancient and knowing, glowed faintly as she hovered beside them. Fear not, she said, her voice a melodic echo. He is not dead, and no harm will befall him. The curse is taking hold. Lynn's breath hitched. The cursed line? The specter nodded. He came with her, she said, gesturing to the space where Amanda had vanished, and because of that, they have activated the cloister of trials. He cannot interfere in hers, nor she in his. These trials are sacred, and they will test them both. Professor Lynn hesitated. And if one, or both, fail? The specter raised an eyebrow. A descendant of my sister will not fail, but she must remember what she has forgotten. As for him, she turned her gaze to Scott almost fondly. His heart must prove its strength. She dissolved into mist, curling down like fog until it wrapped around Scott's body. He stilled. In the darkness of his mind, Scott stood alone in a circular chamber carved from memory and myth. 3 ancient wooden doors loomed before him, their surfaces worn but unmistakably marked with symbols glowing faintly in blue. Scott stood there studying them until he felt it. His eyes twitched, seeing the words and being able to understand them. Above each, words carved in ancient Gaelic.
Have fun.
Patrick.
I put it in the subject line. I was
Scathan,
warned.
you did, but now I'm looking at them and I'm. Scathan Hamras, mirror of doubt. Guthna Hyobartha, voice of sacrifice. Croy Nafarin, heart of truth. A single heartbeat echoed in the silence. Scott let out the breath he did not know he was holding onto like a lifeboat. A prayer. A whisper followed. Choose and be changed. Scott looked at each door, running his palm over the wood like he was feeling for something or someone calling to him from the other side. A mixture of whispers echoed the same words past his ears. She is not behind these doors, not the way you desire. Here, your heart cannot tell lies. We know what you feel. But is it true? Scott blushed as he stumbled over his words. I'm not looking for her. You're not a very convincing liar, came Amelia's strong, familiar voice. Amelia? Where is she? Why can't I see her? Scott pleaded, his voice on the edge of breaking. Sweet child, embrace your gift. Become a child of the night like my Ezra. Amelia's voice purred off the walls. But I am not yours. Scott paused. But are you hers? Amelia's voice was thick and heavy. The only way either of us will know is if you complete your trials. Fear not, you can't die from them, but you would be amazed at what one can live through. She began to cackle lightly. Look, I used to like Amelia. The closer we get to the end of this, I want to strangle that ancient witch. Oh. Scott hesitated before the archway, the air thick with magic and memory. He clenched his fists, recalling Amanda's face, defiant before the dean. Her voice layered with something older than time. Was he ready to be that brave? To be anything more than the shadow beside her, Scott stood to his full height before he stepped through the first door. The world became warm, sunlit. A marble courtyard surrounded him. Birds chirped and laughter filled the air. Amanda stood at the center, radiant, alive, her eyes locked with someone else's. A man, taller, robed in arcane light, power humming in the space around him. He took her hand, kissed her knuckles. Scott felt his knees go weak. As the image of Amanda shifted, the man now stood behind her, his face hidden with the hood of a cloak. His arms wrapped affectionately around Amanda and her swollen belly. Her cheeks flushed as the man appeared to whisper in her ear. A voice echoed, "The blood of my blood, strong and proud. Once long ago, we shared this land, our magic, our power, beyond what you can comprehend. This child, she is of legend. You are just a man. What makes you feel so special? Will you walk beside her, knowing you may never match her light?" Scott stepped forward, heart pounding. "I don't need to match her light," he said. "I just need to protect it, to love her for all that she is, was, or could ever become." "You were always the burden," the illusion Amanda hissed, her face twisting. "Not magic born, not chosen." Scott staggered, breath catching in his throat. The runes on the ground flickered violently. He clutched his chest, the words latching on like parasites. No, no, she would never say that. But what if she thought it? The image shattered before Scott could reach it. He turned to look at the castle below, and there Amanda stood next to a statue of a gargoyle, his wings sprawled out wide with long fangs. In her arms, she held a baby she rocked gently. A man walked up with jet black hair. His average build was well hidden by his business suit. "Why do you insist on keeping that hideous thing around?" The man pointed at the gargoyle. "It is part of history. It's nothing to be jealous of." "Then destroy Scott. Shatter that monster. If you won't, I will." Scott felt a tinge of pain in his chest, as if his heart was being torn. "Do you doubt love and faith?" Amelia questioned. "No. If it is my fate to become what you cursed my line with, then I have no right to claim her. But you want to." "Yes, with everything I am." "What are you?" Before Scott could answer, a strong wind pushed him back through the door to the circular room, left with only two more trials. Amelia's voice, sweet as always. "You may have passed a simple test of if you love her or not. I may not have given you enough to doubt. Let us see what else awaits you." Looking at the first door, Scott saw the sigil of the flame wrapped moon pulsed with light, casting shadows that whispered it in an old tongue. He couldn't understand the words, but they echoed in his bones, judging, remembering, recording.
Liking her less and less. Liking her less and less. Now, I know enough about Gaelic and Old Irish that it's never pronounced the way it's spelled. So I googled it. I couldn't find the second one, but the first one's apparently pronounced Skahan na Ores, and the second one's apparently pronounced Cree na Firinya. No idea what the second one's pronounced like. That's mean putting Gaelic in there, man, and making her read that. That's mean.
People say they love me, but I think they just really hate me.
I've never put crazy languages in there to make you pronounce them. I've never done that.
Never. Keisha's done it a couple of hundred times. Patrick constantly.
I've literally done it with French because, like a fucking bitch, that character showed up speaking French, and I'm like, damn you! And not just French.
Canadian French.
Quebecois. Yeah,
Quebecois.
Quebecois.
Like you just had to. You just had to, didn't you?
I mean,
And there's 4 characters in that story that are alive and well in the world who all speak it.
Patrick.
At least you didn't have to read the one with German.
Yes,
No, I
but
believe Izzy was sick that day.
German,
It's so close to
I
English.
understand
Yeah.
and can say a little bit better.
I love
I mean,
German. I love
if we're
German so
dealing
much.
with Spanish, okay, I got that one. I may not
Well, you should
understand
be
what
able to
I'm
handle
reading, but I
French.
know how to pronounce it.
You should be able to handle French then, because they're pretty much the exact same.
They're very similar. Very, very
They're both
similar.
they're both romantic languages.
Right. But I don't understand them, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
Spanish, for the most part, I see the word, I automatically understand what it is. French, I don't. Unless it's the easy endearments, like mon ami. I got that one.
Mon coeur.
All right. Yeah. Lavinia says that one a lot, and I'm about ready to reach through my computer and strangle that little old 70-something-year-old housekeeper in my story.
Oh God, what was I used to know more. Montrezio, obviously. Mon chéri is a very popular one.
Yo amo
Yes.
tú para siempre.
Yeah.
All right. So we are at that portion of the evening where we are rolling to see what our options are for the next week's prompt. Now let me get my pages up here because
Just giving him a good shakety shake until Izzy tells me we're good.
shakety shake shake. Oh, tit! There's where
Shake,
Discord
shake,
is.
shake.
Ha 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 ha! Don't finish that sentence, Patrick. So this is for
Shake.
season 2, episode 32.
Okay. 70.
I cannot believe I came out with another fucking story idea. I'm writing too many as it is. God damn it.
Trust me, I've got 49. I feel you.
We're not gonna go with how many are in the wings on mine, okay? We're just not.
I'm gonna say since this one was already rolled this year, do a reroll.
What
Okay.
was it?
A character. No, a small town has an annual tradition that no one knows about. This year, a new resident tries to uncover its dark secrets.
Yeah, that's too familiar.
Yeah,
It's too
new.
recent.
20.
Scroll back up. Survivor's
That's not good.
guilt.
Ooh, I love writing about that.
Write about a character who must survive in a post-apocalyptic world, but they are haunted by a past decision that may have caused the disaster.
Ooh. That's less survivor's guilt and more so, oh dear God, I caused the end of the world.
Okay.
No one will ever beat my record for mass murder.
Yeah.
Ouch. We scroll down to 135 to the second half of this list. A chance encounter changes the course of a character's life.
Okay. $49.
Starting first lines. Please remember that if you do not vibe with the character's name, gender, etc., for the purposes of it, you may change pronouns, etc., and pronouns, names, professions, etc. Starting first line. The train left the station on time, but Kate had the unsettling feeling that someone was missing.
$32.
All right, 132 to the bottom half of this list.
Uh-oh.
You okay there, Spaz?
Starting first line. The door swung open to reveal pink giraffes and red elephants.
Somebody tripping. Somebody was tripping.
Yeah.
That might be why somebody's missing. Just saying. 23.
Let's go ahead. Redo that one. Yeah, because that was use this dialogue. I don't want to have a baby.
Oh. 2.
Use this dialogue. Why did you come? And
the dice got us all over the frickin' place tonight.
Not that kind. Not that kind, sure.
32.
My stomach
So this one
hurts.
is 132. So we got 132 and 132 out of our lists this week. Use this dialogue. I think I finally figured out why you always kept your distance.
Ooh.
All right, chat. In the side there, we have got our 6 options. Vote for the one you want to write, you want to hear, your favorite, etc. We have 1. Write about a character who must survive in a post-apocalyptic world, but they are haunted by a past decision that may have caused the disaster. 2. Concept. A chance encounter changes the course of a character's life. 3. Start line. The train left the station on time, but Kate had the unsettling feeling that someone was missing. 4. Start line. The door swung open to reveal pink giraffes and red elephants. Number 5. Use this dialogue. Why did you come? Number 6, use this dialogue. I think I finally figured out why you always kept your distance.
right, come on, everybody, vote, vote, vote.
Vote. What's your favorite?
What would you like us to write next week? And hopefully, I will get some writing done because the Gremlin goes back to school this week.
Yep. Oh, and Julie, we were talking backstage and in front of everybody else before you jumped in. We're going to go ahead and go live tomorrow. Give Yumi and Shar a chance, and anyone else who did not have your submissions in to holdmypenpromptcast@gmail.com with your preferred pen name, the word count that your submission has, and if you want to use the dialogue, "You're not a very convincing liar." Have that in by 3 p.m. Central. Adjust your times accordingly. We'll go ahead and do that so that way we continue to have our rotating 30 days worth of live streams, hours, and viewership, audience, to keep that up to date. Because for the last 2 weeks, we have not done a Sunday.
Right, because we didn't have
All right. Anybody else?
And I won't be on tomorrow because I will be having a personal family day.
Nope, you're fine. Absolutely.
We have only 2 votes for 6, 1 vote for 4. I know there's more than that here.
I want 6 as well.
All right.
See, even if
Anybody else voting?
It's not going to make any difference. That's the whole thing. What I would vote for, it doesn't make any difference. Because me personally, I wanted to vote for 2.
You still can.
Well, I can, but it doesn't make any difference because we've already got 3 for 6. So unless the mass majority of our peeps all voted in different directions, there's no way with that. So right now we have Kesh for 4, Trisha for 6, Patrick for 6, Shar for 6, Izzy for 3, me for 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's 7 of us in here.
5, 6. Yep. If you have not voted, please feel free to choose one of the prompts that you would like to hear next week, you would like to write for next week. Make us suffer, make us choose. Yes, it does look like overwhelmingly we are going with 6. Although that is a good line.
It really is.
That
I
is
mean, they were all good this week.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the times our dialogue is so generic, like number 5, like prompt option 5, that they can seriously be used anywhere. It's just such a generic phrase, which are really good. But when they're detailed like this, or even more so, I would have lived longer if it hadn't been for Ethan. You know, it is more of a challenge to really think about it instead of fly some with whatever. So
Right.
You
all
still smell like
right.
puppy. She still smells like puppy.
Also, our EJ's on tonight, so when you let me know, we'll go ahead and set up the raid. So at least he gets his input for a minute.
Yeah, and we hung out for a little bit with him last week. And he's working on or rewriting. I'm not sure. He's either working on this book about the music industry, or he's rewriting it or something and trying to go over it. But the way he was spitting the lines,
Right. Yeah.
he has these lines, this rap
that his character is doing, um, he has it memorized. And he could just spit it flying out. Julie and I were sitting here going, "Good golly!" Like this reminds us of
Eminem,
early Eminem,
like Eight
where
Mile.
it 8 Mile Eminem. So, yep.
So
All
you want
right.
me to set that up?
Officially.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that part I still haven't figured out how to do.
I
Um,
got it.
but again, okay, so for this weekend, one, you have reprieve. If you want to put in a submission but didn't get it in by the 3 p.m. Central deadline this today, you have until 3 p.m. Central tomorrow, Sunday, August 3rd. I know I'm going to be trying to get something going. Shar said she's going to try and get something going. Worst case scenario, something else that she's been working on this week as opposed to prompt. Hello, Pepper. Oh my goodness. Are you having fun just rolling around over there?
Want to say goodbye? You want to say goodbye?
Oh, big yawn. Big yawn. And I promise, tomorrow I will have the newsletter set to go out on Monday this time instead of, at the last minute on Thursday. As always, you can find our prompts and hang out with us unfiltered. I mean, I know that we're unfiltered on here, but we're a little bit more unfiltered in the Discord. Video calls, video chats. We have one dedicated specifically for sprints. We have the Sprinto bot. You can do body doubling if you need to, work on doing your laundry. You need somebody to kind of hold you accountable. And we also just have chilling. The number of times that Julie jumps in to help me drive home in body doubling because I am lonely on my 17 and a half minute drive from the office to home. And
Or
hopefully
had
this next
had to
week.
walk to the store with me.
Yep, yep. So, hey, Julie, you remember that you said that you needed butter? Is it in your cart? We do that kind of shit too, right? This is a family that spreads all the way across the globe. We have people in Australia, England, Canada, the United States, and I know that we've had viewers from other countries as well. So, come hang out with us. We don't bite. And even when you ask us to, we're still kind of like, "Are you sure?
Well,
Are
I
you
I only have to
sure?"
be asked once. I've only got to be asked once.
we do
Well,
ask a few
no,
times.
that also right. Well, and that also goes for reviews and whatnot because someone we will who asked me to be very brutal with their book, and when I got to a certain point, I said, "I don't think you want me to. Wait, do the rewrite, and then I'll bite."
You still have to finish mine.
Yes, we will not talk about the fact that I started your book March of 2024 and still have not finished reading it, or the fact that I started reading A Bathed in the Blood of Ravens January 1st of 2024 and still haven't made it through the second chapter.
Look, if you don't like it, you just gotta say so. I'm a big girl. I
No,
can take it.
no, and Char knows this. She's just being a
I know.
smartass
I'm
right
just
now.
being a bitch.
I
I'm just being a
have an
bitch.
ADHD problem. She really is, and I know that she's doing that.
Look,
This is why we love each other.
yeah.
To get through the edits of Destin so we can get back and move on to another project. Um,
Right.
even though
That
Julie
too. Plus,
is with a different
I'm
person.
writing shit. Right. There's
No,
there's editing to do. There's house stuff and everything else. So we all
I'm
give each other a little
absolutely,
grace,
I'm absolutely just taking
but
the
we
piss out of you.
also give
It's
yeah,
it's
and
so
and
far
we
down
also
the
take
list
the
of
piss out of
priority.
each other.
It's so far down the list of
Yeah.
priority.
Yep.
Absolutely,
So
100%.
Listen, we all get shit done the best way we can, but this is where we're at.
Yeah.
We're a
this
bunch
is where we're at.
chaos gremlins that literally, if it wasn't for the other ones in this group, I can guarantee that I will not remember to buy toilet paper just because I will tell them, hey, don't let me forget to put that on the list. We'll get just
Yep.
sidetracked. Izzy will go to the freaking store with me via, video, and she'll be like, hey, dish tabs, toilet paper, and did you remember to actually buy chips for yourself this time? Uh,
Yep. Absolutely. So, all right, we absolutely love you, folks.
we'll
We're
see
gonna
you
turn on
tomorrow.
some music and mute out and put the screen up. Julie, take us out.
All right, everybody, we will see you again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. And remember, if you're not going to be here tomorrow, be brave, be bold, but always stay humble. And we will see you again tomorrow. Bye.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with savings of 20% or more on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save even more with lower everyday prices on over 10,000 items, now including select varieties of chicken, bacon, and cheese. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the GPS directions first before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculate.